Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Treya Tarot. This is the collective reading for January 10th, 2025. I'm going to use the Wandering Moon Tarot today and the Talisman Oracle. The card I pulled for today for the Talisman Oracle is Magical Power. Not what I was expecting, I'll say that. Let's see if I can find all right. In the book, it says, "We are born with a special gift of magic. We often overlook this extraordinary power to bring happiness to those around us or into our own hearts. In the center of it all is a very powerful emotion, love. By setting up our intent, we can create a new world. Believing in ourselves begins with loving and being kind to who we are. Understanding our limits and pushing just a little further to better ourselves. In these ways, we become closer to fulfilling our purpose in life, The dragonflies start their life as larvae in the water and later rise up into the air and fly. They are our connection with nature and our guides. They are our connection with nature and our guides to the realm of magic. The Talisman Power. Use this card to strengthen your intent or awaken your magical gift." I think that this particular card came up for a very interesting reason. I was shuffling while watching a reading from a woman that I have never seen before on YouTube this morning. I will link it in the description box. The reading was actually very interesting and pretty deep in terms of how she expressed the message, which was essentially about acknowledging our own strength and capacity for growth, no matter who or what around us could or could not grow with us. And it was just a very interesting read. You know, she mentioned something about the lone wolf not being about being cast out, like being a black sheep of the family or something, but about being the embodiment of the capacity to stand in your strength and in your ability in general. So that Magical Power card kind of seems to fit with that reading. You know, as I was preparing for this, I was listening to her. So it feels to me like that may be the influence that was being brought up there. I will link that reading in the description box so that you can see which one I was talking about. But I'm going to cut the deck again and get started. If you like these readings, please like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, the usual. All right. Page of Moons, Page of Cups, Queen of Swords, and Death. The interesting thing about this is I can feel something's definitely passing on an energetic level in my conversations, in my direct experience with my work. I can see a shifting occurring that is larger than just the archetypes. It's maybe that's not how I mean to say it. It's vaster. It's more vast than the archetypes that I'm seeing in the cards, because it feels more overreaching or blanketing than just our interpersonal relationships or our direct physical experiences in the 3D world. I feel like there is something very fundamental moving. And maybe it's because so many people are experiencing that similar ability to see themselves clearly or see what their issues are clearly and not project them outward. There's something very insular going on inside of all of the people that I'm, I don't want to say dealing with, but like engaging with on a daily basis. This Page of Cups, thought of fulfillment, knowledge of self, knowledge of your emotional state and being. Queen of Swords, the force of mental clarity as a nurturance. Okay. The queen does not play. She cuts through falsity, but she does it from a very warm place within. Not like the king. The queen to me always had a warmth to her. All of the queens do, but this particular queen is supposed to be cold and calculating and logical. But the Queen of Swords always represented for me the ability, the act of getting to the truth mentally and verbally, getting to the truth without losing that sense of nurturing. Death, transformation. The magician. The magician is the manifester. The one who brings that divine knowledge into physical form. 5 of Cups, loss. And then the 6 of Wands, which is victory. Yeah, there's something really seemingly complex happening that feels complex to me. It doesn't, which is maybe why it feels rare. But there's this sort of alchemical process happening here. Thought about the heart center, about what matters, getting to the truth, allowing that to transform you, creating and recreating and working with your tools and knowing your skill, again, knowing your ability and capacity, and processing that loss, victory over the loss. What I think is interesting is the 5 of Cups have come up quite a bit. I'm reading the moons as the 5 of Cups. I hope that's what they mean, but I don't have a book for this deck, so the way I read this deck might be a little bit different than it was intended by its, author and artist. But the 5 of Cups for me is always about the loss. It shows up over and over and over again about the 3 cups that are overturned, right? But the 2 cups that are standing behind the figure in the traditional deck are the ones we always miss. We always miss what's still standing. We always miss what was true because we're so focused on what was lost or what was there the whole time, which is even more apt a analysis of the card. The 2 of Cups behind what is still standing and has been standing the entire time. And it feels to me like that victory card points to us finally turning around and seeing those 2 standing cups. Because it's time. I think it's time that the old stories go. And that our magical power, the magician and the magical power card, by the way, I love pointing that out. I think that's really cute that they would come out in the same reading. But the magician and magical power basically speak to the same thing, which is you can create. You are an active participant. You are channeling whatever you are into physical form. Bottom of the deck, 3 of Wands. No longer waiting for things to come to you, but going out and getting what is true for you. There's that King of Pentacles. I love the King of Pentacles now. I used to have a bit of an issue, a bit of a back and forth feeling about the King of Pentacles energy, but now it feels like a blessing to me. Page of Pentacles, and then the Sun. We are rethinking what we see as real and finally seeing a truth that may have been there the whole time, but we were too concerned with what got lost to see it. So to me, this feels, especially in connection with the reading I listened to this morning, this feels very much like a personal feeling, a personal process, but it could manifest outside of us with these Pentacles cards as the acknowledgement of something true that overwrites the loss that we have lived in for so long. I wouldn't be surprised if there were, a bunch of people out there grieving something that they thought was nebulous and couldn't put words to. I can feel that too. But it's pretty clear to me that something's over, and it's not the physical part. The thing that's over is the pattern or the reality of the negativity or the perspective that keeps you in one cycle over stepping forward into something better. And because of that Six of Wands, man, this, we won. We won. Not because we got what we thought we wanted necessarily, although I'm guessing many of us probably did, but because we figured out what was true the whole time. What was always waiting there for us. Knight of Cups, movement towards fulfillment, Wheel of Fortune, love that Ouroboros right there. And then the Knight of Pentacles. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so Knight of Cups, movement towards fulfillment. There's that direct experience of action towards what you want. The Wheel of Fortune, breaking the cycle, but also the ability to understand cycles, to understand the ebbs and flows of everything in our lives, the way relationships ebb and flow and grow in that way, the way money comes and goes and returns again. That Wheel of Fortune is the integration of that knowledge. So it can end a cycle, it can begin a cycle. It can also speak of existing within a flow. In that way, it kind of reminds me of the Temperance card. But instead of standing still, it's that sort of movement with each turn of the wheel, so to speak. It's balance. It's learning how to balance through the cycles of your life. And then that Knight of Pentacles, that Knight of Stars, is the knight that waits. He's the knight that holds his horses. That I love the Knight of Pentacles too, because the Knight of Pentacles waits for the truth, waits for the offer of the ace. The Knight of Pentacles waits for the solid offer and then decides what to do. So, as you're waiting for your offer or your opportunity or your piece of information that tells you, which way you actually want to be going, remember to flow with your cycle. Understand your pattern. Let it come and go. Open hands. Let it come and go with open hands. And see what remains. Okay, I'll leave it there. Have a good weekend, everyone. Oh, speaking of which, this reading also extends to Sunday because this is the weekend read. I didn't say that in the beginning, but, if this resonates with you guys, please, leave me a comment. Tell me how you feel. I'm always happy to hear from you. Okay. Bye. Have a good weekend.